So I wasn't going to do a video, but I decided to. So many of you were asking, and a lot of this was interesting. So I am not in the hospital. I am at my son's because I had a lot of complications during this. The first thing is, this was a mess. It was an absolute mess. I got to the hospital and they took me in. And when they did, they put me in a curtained, just slot, you know. Well, you can call it a room. It just had a curtain across it. And they took me in there and they go, okay, take all your clothes off and put this on. And get on the bed and lay down, which I did. It took, 5-10 minutes. I assumed, because the instructions had said that your one family member could come in 15 minutes after you had entered. Because all they do is they just prep you for the surgery. But you're in there 2.5 hours. So they never drew the curtain. Jason never came. And I laid there for about an hour in the same position. I was totally ignored. It just was very confusing. While I'm sitting there, I'm, of course, thinking of everything that can go wrong, right? And I'm starting to have pain in my back on the right-hand side, and it travels from my back all the way down my leg. So after about an hour, I'm having a minimal amount of pain. They finally come in, acknowledge me, do the little bit of prep work. It takes 15-20 minutes to get me ready for the surgery. And then they leave. And one nurse said, well, your son, do you have anyone with you? I said, yes, Jason. Can he come back? Uh-huh. Another hour goes by, and my procedure is supposed to start in 15 minutes. I have a lot of pain right now, dizziness. I tried to get up to go to the restroom and almost fell out of the bed, and a nurse saw me through the curtain. Now, mind you, nobody's spoken to me. 2 hours, nobody spoke. Nobody checked on me. Nobody did anything. 1 hour before, and then they prepped me, and then another hour all by myself. Jason never shows up. I'm not sure what's going on. I keep hearing other people say, let me go get your son, or let me go get your niece, or let me go get your husband, or whatever, but no one ever brings Jason. So as I'm trying to get out of the bed to go to the restroom, I'm nervous, I'm stressed, and I really need to move a little bit, And so the nurse helped me. I could barely walk to the bathroom. I was so dizzy. So I might have begun a heart attack. I don't know. I will tell you what one of the doctors said in just a minute. So I'm under real stress. And finally, around the corner comes Jason's at 1:45. He's so angry. He said, I kept hearing all these people going back, but nobody would say my name. And then the woman at the front desk went to lunch. I had to wait till she got back. And he says, and then I said, oh yeah, you can go back. And as he got back and he sat down, he was very angry. And I was really upset because I had been there all by myself. I was really upset. Really. You have no idea. I'm not saying upset, just traumatized, really, by myself being totally ignored. And the nurse that had asked me my son's name, she was going to bring him back, she saw him and she came up and she goes, she's just getting back on the floor. I'm so sorry, I forgot. They sent me to lunch and I forgot about your son. So the doctor had, when they were there, the doctor had also stopped by at the same time. And he said, we're right on schedule. Your procedure will begin at noon. So Jason and I are sitting there, and a nurse comes up and she goes, well, we can't send you to the procedure because we can't find the doctor. I said, what do you mean you can't find the doctor? Well, he's disappeared. We think he went back to his office, which is another building somewhere. And that was it. That was the final straw that broke the camel's back. I'm trying to be really good. I'm not saying anything to anybody. And I looked at her and I said, I will give him exactly 30 minutes, maybe 45, but if this doesn't start soon, he told me it would be on schedule. I am getting dressed and I am walking out of here. I do not need this. Right now, I am really, really upset. Well, within a few minutes, Jason's sitting there. He goes, now, Mom. I said, no, Jason, this isn't right. I've been here all by myself for 2 hours. 2 hours. I'm in pain. I'm dizzy. This isn't right. Well, within just a few minutes, this guy shows up. The guy is an anesthesiologist of some kind, doctor, whatever. And he comes in joking. He goes, well, I see you've had a morning, haven't you? And I said, yeah. And he said, so what's going on? And I started telling him, what was happening. And he goes, well, I'm taking you back. Don't worry, I'm taking you back. He was really hilarious, guys. He really broke the stress. When you're waiting for something like that, you become very emotional, very traumatized. And he said, I know you're very emotional about this, and I know you're reacting. I get it. I understand. It's not fair. So they took me back. I'm already having pain all down the right side. And he says, then they put you from the bed, a soft bed, to a board. A total board, guys. I hurt so bad. This side was in so much pain. And I said, oh my God, I really hurt. I'm so sorry. I really hurt. And he said, tell me what's going on. And I told him, and he goes, you've been dizzy? And I go, yeah. So he says, let me give you something immediately for the pain. I can't put you out until the doctor gets here. Doctor didn't show up till 1. An hour after it, and he had nothing scheduled before me. I don't know what happened. I don't care. So in the meantime, they've soothed my pain a little bit, and you're nude, and they're doing this, and they're doing that, and the guy's, he's trying to keep me laughing, We're talking about everything, taxes, insurance, anything to keep me laughing. And the doctor shows up. He puts me out a little bit, goes, you should be awake through this whole thing. You're not going to feel a thing. Well, I did. And I started, I could feel that catheter going through my vein, and it was very, very painful. They got about halfway up my arm, and I was in so much pain. I just said, I was trying not to be a baby. And I said, I can feel it, please stop. And they went, you can feel this? And he goes, yes. And as I'm going out, he goes, to the other doctor, he goes, my biggest concern right now is she has a heart attack on the table. She's high risk right now. That was the last thing I heard. So I wake up in my room, never saw that doctor again. And I guess during this procedure, they saw how much damage I had. He brought another doctor in. This was Dr. S. He brought in Dr. R. And they decided right then and there I had so much damage I needed a 4-way bypass. When I woke up in my room, or my cubicle, or whatever it was, there was a guy in a red shirt sitting there, and he goes, I'm Dr. R. I'm not going to give you their names. And he goes, I'm going to do your 4-way bypass. He says, I know you're going to be shocked. You weren't expecting. And he was very nice. He was very confident. He explained the whole procedure to me. Now remember, I'm just getting out of being put out. Jason isn't there, and I said, Jason has to be here. Please get my son. They're just to go, okay, all right. I heard them say, okay. They never got Jason. And by the time Jason finally gets there, never called him. They had his number. He had stepped out to go to lunch. I mean, he went without breakfast in the morning. I think this was almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It was just, all they had to do was call him. He was just downstairs. They didn't. And because I was so loopy, I didn't get all the information. And there's questions to be asked and this and that. But anyway, and the guy goes, well, we're going to open up your chest and we're going to move the large artery from the left rib to from the right rib to all this stuff. I can't tell you everything he was telling me. And he says, how do you live? I said, he said, where do you live? I said, I live in a van. He goes, you do, huh? I go, yes, I do. And he goes, I thought I heard you have a son. I go, yeah. Can you live with your son? I said, his one-bedroom apartment, he works. He goes, you need 24-hour assistance for a few weeks. You're going to be in the hospital 7 days. You're going to be in the hospital 7 days. You're going to need 24-hour assistance for several weeks, if not 6 weeks. I want to put you in a rehabilitation facility with 24-hour assistance. Would you be agreeable to that? I said, I told him, I said, my last major surgery, I just finished paying all the bills from that. Even though I had Medicare and an additional insurance, you still end up with bills. And I think mine was between $5,000 and $6,000. It'd take me like 3 or 4 years to pay it. And I looked at him, I said, I really need to know how much it's going to cost all of this because I need to know how long it's going to take me to pay it off. Don't worry about it. I'm taking care of this. He gave me a real good confidence. I am going to some sort of a place assistance, 24-hour assistance for at least 6 weeks. I don't know how I'm going to do videos, but anyway. It was a mess. In the meantime, he had ordered all kinds of things. So not only did I go through all the testing, and I had, 6 holes in just one arm. They did more blood. Then they missed getting enough blood so they had to come and take blood again. Then what else did they do? Oh, then they wanted me to do a breathalyzer. I couldn't do it. Then I had to have an x-ray. Then I did not get out of there till after 6:30 or something at night. It was 2 hours after I had walked around and I was okayed that I could leave, and they still were doing tests. And of course I said, the woman, I said, a breathalyzer test? I don't have the strength to do anything. It's just a mess, but it was not a joyful experience. There were a couple of doctors that gave me confidence. I felt very good, but I was a little tyrant when I wanted to go home. He had scheduled so many things for me for next Thursday. I don't know what day it is, guys. Next Thursday, today is Thursday, I'm having a 4-way bypass. So, I'm going to do some videos this week. I mainly will do videos about the stories, of my life, some of the stories of my life. I do want to finish the review on the refrigerator. I have some more testing to do. Jason's going to bring it into the house for me. I will be at my daughter-in-law's house for the next 5 days, and then after that, they come back. I'm going to be at Jason's until the surgery. And then after the surgery, I will be in not assisted living, but some kind of rehabilitation, assisted whatever. I can't, because I I was pretty much out of it when he talked to me. I just know he's putting me somewhere for rehabilitation and 24-hour assistance. So that's good. I do know I researched it, and I have an 83% chance as a diabetic and a woman. I have an 83% chance of coming out of this. And once you have this, you have between 15 and 20 years extra to live. So this is all good news. Women do have a lower rate of coming out of it than men do. I don't even know why. I was looking all these statistics up, so I wanted to know if it was worthwhile doing it. I'm going to be out for at least 2 months. Right now I can't even lift 5 pounds. They did go through my wrist. They did not go through my leg. As I told you, the doctor told me 80% of everything is done through the wrist. And they did. But the problem with the wrist is you can't use this wrist. They went through the artery here. You can't use your wrist after that. I can't lift more than 5 pounds, and I shouldn't even be doing that. I can't flex my wrist. I can't, like if you go to get off the couch, you can't use your wrist to get off the couch. You really are not supposed to be moving that wrist hardly at all for at least 7 to 10 days. That's going to be hard. But I did look everything up. I already agreed to it. I'm going to do the 4-way bypass. I'm worried about my channel. Jason's going to do some lives for me. I don't know if I'm going to do one next Tuesday or not. I just don't know. It's been pretty traumatic, and all the things that happened at the hospital that were not good. It didn't feed me with a great deal of confidence. I am going to be in a different place. This Dr. R said, no, your surgery is going to be in another building, blah, blah, blah. We're a whole different thing, blah, 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 whatever. Jason has to talk to him. I mean, he's got to get more information. But I did go through a lot. Extra. Yeah, so I really haven't wanted to talk to anybody but Jason. I'm starting to get over my little trauma. And I woke up this morning and I was much better emotionally than I've been since all this started. And there's been so many things happening in between. It's just been craziness. Now everything is settling down, and we'll see. But I'm alive and kicking and still here. Yep, still here. Still thinking of how I'm thinking, how am I going to do videos in this rehabilitation center? I don't know, but I will figure it out. Because I don't really want to just talk about what's happening with me. I want to tell old stories and do what I've been doing. So thank you all for your prayers and your good wishes, and made it through this one. Now we got the second one to go. I'll talk to you next time. Thank you for viewing, sharing, and please like. Well, maybe you don't like it, so that's why you're not hitting like. I thank you. I'll see you next time.